What's going on, everyone? Another amazing, exciting episode. This one is going to blow your minds. We have business coach and strategist extraordinaire,
social media expert / search expert / profile expert / all the things, website designer.
Kristina Stubblefield.
Thank you so
much.
Yeah. That is a lot to live up to.
Yes.
You're setting the bar very high.
We are.
Well,
it's true, though.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you, and you guys should be excited, too. We will be back in 2 seconds.
Let's go.
The Business Project Podcast.
Business can be complicated.
We break it down so regular people like us
can understand and find success. I'm John Crespo, accountant and consultant.
I'm Casey Bryant, marketer and event planner.
If you run a business
or want to run a business,
welcome to the show. I hope you enjoyed the intro. Now you're going to enjoy the podcast because we have an amazing episode, as we stated in the beginning. Kristina Stubblefield is here. She's going to share some awesome information that's going to take your business to the next level on the social media, internet level. So let's dig in and let's go.
Yeah. So Kristina, why don't you start? I guess we'll start. I'm going to start just because I think that it's more effective when people introduce and talk about how amazing you are. You have been coaching us over the past, 7 months, maybe?
Yep.
Maybe even more than that, just helping us get our emails in order, helping us completely redo all of our platforms and all of the things. And so you've been an amazing mentor for us. And so that's kind of where we're coming from, is you guys have the ability to hear from somebody that does coaching and some things, and y'all are going to get some nuggets out of this. So get your notebooks out. But Kristina, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your business is?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And you are setting the bar very high, but I have been doing this a very long time, many years. I like to say 15 plus, so that way I don't give the actual number. I know you appreciate that as being a numbers person. But I have been in the internet world, I always say all the way back to the AOL community. And then I have people kind of look at me, they don't know what I'm talking about.
You got mail.
Mm-hmm. But I was in it before websites were actually websites. It was the AOL community. And I have lived through many digital ages and been very fortunate to work with an array of clients along these many years. And what that has given me is it has really built a portfolio of experience and expertise that I can bring to the table. And I think the biggest thing that I hear from clients is having that 10,000 foot view. Sometimes you can't see it as much when you're in it every day. And one of the best things that I can share with people is there's no better tip of the hat to me than when a marketing company, someone similar to me, or that does maybe some of the same programs or processes or products or services, and says, hey, I would like to get your opinion. And that to me means the world. So when you all reached out, even though that we have some overlapping items, I felt very fortunate to be able to come and help you all, be a mentor, be a guide. I always like to say a strategic guide in the process of just being able to work on your systems, processes, your online presence, because it all goes together. And that's the thing that I hope people take away from this episode, is really understanding how much your online presence is intertwined in everything you do with your business and your marketing. So thank you all for trusting in me over these last few months. And I've learned as well, and I think that's what makes it great and come full circle, is everyone can grow together.
You know what? We're going to dig into the whole social media, internet, and how to...
Google. She's talking about Google today.
Google. Well, you know, the importance of incorporating that into a business, right? But I just want to touch on something you said that I think will resonate to the viewers and people listening, because in business in general, it's okay to reach out and look for a mentor or look for a coach in your market or in your, let's just say, your lane, Actually, that's who you want to seek out anyway, because those are who you're going to get the most benefit out of when talking to. Those are the ones that are actually going through what you're going through, and I really, really want to help. And working with you, the months that we've been working with you has been breath of fresh air. Yes, breath of fresh air, because we needed that. Like you said, the 10,000 mile view or 10,000 foot view into what we were doing from someone that's been going through it. Mm-hmm. So don't hesitate. Don't think you shouldn't. Look out for one. Look out for a mentor. Look out for a coach, because it will definitely help and take your business or whatever you're planning, your project, to the next level for sure.
And I think a lot of times we get caught in thinking that we have to know it all and figure it out on our own. And I mean, the first time I met Kristina and we sat down, I was bawling crying after we were done with the meeting, because it was like, it made me realize that that I don't have to do it alone, and that there are people that will help you. And so this wasn't at all where we meant to go with this podcast, but I think it is really important, because as business owners, it's okay to ask for help. We've said that several times in our podcast. Yep. It's okay to find somebody that knows more so that they can help you.
Well, and there's a way to connect all this together. So one of my favorite sayings is community over competition. I am sought out by a lot of wedding professionals because I was in that industry for 7 years. I get it. I understand it. But those who don't know my background, I was in the mortgage business for a number of years. I have a few family businesses that I'm fortunate to help out with. And the thing to remember is community over competition. When you all work together, whether it's networking together, sharing social media posts, sharing things out on Google, it lifts everyone. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're all after. So when you talk about your online presence, don't forget about the people that you work with. So many times people utilize social media, and we talk about social media engagement. One of the biggest things with your online presence, second to Google, don't forget to engage. It's social. Yeah. It's social media. And you can engage with people that are in your same lane, people that are in your same area, that maybe you all work together. So that is one of my biggest pillars. And I'll tell you this, me and my husband own a marketing agency, and we have to have someone on the outside, because we come from two very different backgrounds, and that works well together. It meshes well together. But when you're working on your business, mm-hmm. It's different when you have someone that's not in the trenches with you every day to give you some perspective. Mm-hmm. And anytime you talk about online presence, strategy is so important. And I think that's why we're going to take on the topic of Google today, because when you spend your time, energy, and effort, you want results.
Yep.
And with the statistics that you're getting ready to share, being on Google, active on Google, consistent on Google, can make a big impact in your business.
Most definitely.
Yeah, John. So tell us, do you remember
yes,
the stats
I do.
we talked
He's
about
a
for
numbers
Google?
person.
Yes.
I know. Of course, John remembers.
That number's ringing through my head. I'm going to sleep thinking about that number. If you did not know, the amount of searches that are done on Google per day is 8.5 billion with a B. Not a M, not million, billion.
Wow.
That's 8.5 in one day. So if you're not on Google or taking advantage of Google, you are sorely missing out. Imagine you just got a 0.5% of engagement out of that 8.5 billion. I don't even think you didn't even need that if you're looking at that scale of number.
I think you're right.
And then that was searches per day, and then visits, 89 billion visits a month
To Google.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
Think about that.
So, Kristina, I have a feeling you're going to tell us, how do they get visible on Google if they're a business?
Quick question first. Is it?
Do I need a notepad?
No.
Okay.
Because you mentioned when we were preparing for this that it's different. It's mentioned different. It's not Google My Business anymore. It's Google Business Profile?
Yes, that is what it is today when we're recording. Hopefully they won't change it for a while, because it was very confusing for people in the beginning when they first made that change. And I think this is where people get stuck. When you start talking about using Google, coming up on Google, there's a thing called Google Business Profile. And guess what? It's free. Free. It doesn't cost
like that
anything.
word.
Everyone should like that word, free. Especially when it puts you in with numbers like you just mentioned. And let me drop just this little nugget to think about. If Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, did I leave one out?
No.
If they were gone tomorrow, what would still be there?
Google.
Google. So you want to make sure that you definitely have a Google business profile. In order to do that, you can just go to business.google.com and search your business name to see if you have a listing. And if you don't, it is very easy to create your listing. That is step one, is just having a listing. Step two is verifying it. That is the top things that you can do for getting your business to show up on Google.
So can businesses do this even if they don't have a location? Because I think that's one of the things that businesses think is, hey, I don't have an address, so can I do that?
And that used to be a hot topic, because if you worked from home or you didn't have a storefront, you didn't want your home address listed on there.
Right.
And now they have this wonderful checkbox that you can click that you do not want your address to show. And what you do is you put in your service area, whether that be the United States, a certain cities or areas. That is how you then come up in those areas on Google without having your address there.
So explain a little bit how Google My Business, or is it the other one? I'm going to get them mixed up now.
That's okay, because people still say Google My Business. Yeah. So that's why I still like to include that, because that's how we've known it for a number of years.
Right. Tell us a little bit about so if they go in and they do that and somebody comes and search for their keyword, do they show up? Just tell us a little bit about how it works, because I think a lot of people just have no idea how it even works.
Okay, so now you're going down a lane of search engine optimization, but I will explain it this way. In order to come up in the searches, one of the best things that you could do is have your Google business profile in place and also have it optimized. Now, I'm sure we're going to go over some of those steps.
I hope so.
The other thing is you're going to have access to a checklist in the show notes and the information that you put out about the podcast that will give you step by step that you can follow to really optimize your listing.
Awesome.
So, but there's a few things, and Casey's trying to intermingle here, your Google search and coming up. Actually, it all goes together. But searches come up utilizing keywords. So there are tools out there, for example, Google Keyword Planner, that you can utilize to search out what some of the top keywords or what keywords go along with your business to utilize on your Google business profile. Now, let me walk through this just a little bit here. What do I mean by those keywords? Those keywords can be put into the description. They can be put into the actual post that you do on Google. We're getting down the tracks just a little bit here. Also, the other part of it, those keywords can go on your website, whether it be in the writing on your website, in your SEO keywords. There is many things that come together. All these pieces make up a puzzle for search engine optimization, which allows you to rank higher on Google. And one of those big pieces, I wish there was one magic piece. There's not. But one big piece is that Google business profile listing.
So it just helps you. It helps Google say, hey, this is a legitimate business. Hey, they're putting an effort towards being a part of our platform. So, hey, we might just show them to more people.
Absolutely. And if you're not familiar with your Google business profile, on the right-hand side of your screen, if you go out and you search your business or search another business on a desktop, for example, a desktop computer, there on the right-hand side, there's a knowledge panel that comes up. It's in a little tiny box. It's not tiny. It's a very light bordered box on Google. That is your Google business profile. And the best part about it, you control what shows up there.
So you build your profile. Like
Yes.
if you were building a social media profile, you want to build your Google business profile.
Yes. So a lot of times
Okay.
people ask me, Kristina, what social media platforms? What should I be using with all of the changes? Google. What? No. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google. I'm not saying abandon those. I'm not saying change what you're doing, because everyone should have their own strategy, and it's different but depending on who your target audience is. But I would go with anyone. I would say to anyone out there, I promise, no matter who your target audience is, they're on Google.
For sure.
They're on Google. And the best part about your Google business profile, you can post an update every day. You can put pictures on every day. So people say to me, what kind of strategy can I start out with? If you're just starting, please definitely make sure it's verified. Now you don't have to wait for that postcard to come in the mail anymore. You can either do it by email or even sometimes by phone, by text. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure it has pictures. Make sure it has a good description. Does it have your services or products listed? Your hours, your address. Make sure whatever information you put on there is up to date. That is one of the best things that you can do. And then to start with a strategy with Google, you want to update, even if it's 1 or 2, 3 pictures a week. You want to put new pictures on there every week. And I encourage people to do a post, very similar to a social media post, on their Google business profile.
So how does this get seen? Do people have to go to your business in order to see these things?
It comes up on the first page of Google when your business ranks on Google, or someone even searches your business name. That comes up. That knowledge panel shows up. And they can see what's going on in your business if you've done a post without having to click another button to go to Facebook, click another button to go to your website. We all know in marketing, the more clicks, those are basically hurdles, so to speak. The more hurdles or hoops you have to jump through, the less likely someone is to X off. And that's what you don't want to have happen.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed that happens a lot too is, like, if I go to a website, I know to put www.thebusinessproject.com and it'll take me straight to their website. But I think a lot of people still go to Google because it's maybe what comes up or what they're comfortable in. And then they do local, thebusinessproject.com in the search. And so you want your business to show up there, right? Because I would say when I watch people do it, probably at least 50%, 75 even, especially older people, will go to Google to put your website in the search bar instead. So you want to make sure that I didn't even think about that
They
until
don't go
now.
actually to the address bar. They go to the search bar first.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's like,
And
wow, okay.
to be able to have something that's free, and you're going to make sure your business comes up if somebody puts in your business name, or maybe even search for keywords around your business. The first and foremost thing is to make sure you have a listing on there. The keyword part, those type things, you've got to walk before you run.
I'd say get help with that stuff.
Most of the time, people get very frustrated because they spend time, which time is money,
Time is money.
and they're so frustrated, they don't think that there is a way to get results. Instead of trying to get a strategy in place first, some of the people I've been fortunate to work with, I don't do anything other than just help them come up with a strategy, and then they run with it. And maybe that's reviewed quarterly or once a year. It just depends on the business. Strategy will save you a lot of heartache, blood, sweat, tears. And I feel like a lot of times people don't value their time, and you're constantly working at it when you don't necessarily know the right steps. And if you could generate that energy in a direction that's beneficial, sometimes you just need a guide to help you do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think sometimes, or most of the time, we go towards what's easiest or what we know most or the best. And so that's why I think a lot of businesses use Facebook. It's because it's been around the longest. It's what people are comfortable doing. And so they're afraid to try something like Google because it's so weird and unknown, and they don't get it. They don't understand it.
But you have 8.5 billion searches on Google per day. So I'm going to be saying 8.5 billion through the whole podcast
I think you should.
because it's got to stick.
Yeah.
If that number doesn't say something to you, to people out there, and I see a lot of people, I like TikTok. I like Instagram. You're not going to hear me. I like LinkedIn. You're not going to hear me say a bad word about social media. But for businesses, and a lot of times I work with small to medium-sized businesses, a lot of solopreneurs, time is limited. And I see people work so hard on long periods of time on these TikToks and Reels, and they post them, and they don't have a strategy. They don't have hashtags. They don't have people tagged in them or a location. Some of that strategic things that you can do to get it out to more people, but they don't have a Google business profile.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when you're found on these profiles? A lot of times, I'm going to close out. Now I'm going to go look that business up on Google. Oh, I met you at a networking event. You gave me a business card, but I really don't keep business cards. But I remember the name of the business. I'm going to go look it up. And I've told people this for so many years. You know, I really believe a website is a foundation for a business. But it's not, it is everything. But don't forget about the way people are funneling into that website. And most of the time, it's through Google.
Mm-hmm.
Google. And let's be honest, Google loves Google, which is exactly why YouTube videos are now ranking on the first page of Google. So if you do videos for your business, please put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
It will benefit you, and it doesn't take that long to upload them from your phone or from your computer.
Yeah.
YouTube is owned by Google, by the way, right?
And guess what?
Yeah.
It's the second largest search engine.
Wow.
Google, then YouTube.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I look for
We
things
should have got
on
those
YouTube.
numbers.
Yeah.
Then we can really show
Then we
Yeah.
how you can maximize that.
baby steps.
Yeah.
I would suggest, if you do not have a Google business profile, utilize the time that you're getting ready to spend recording any kind of video.
Yeah.
And go and do that. I'll share with you a quick story. I guess I should say like a case study, because I recently had a client who was not utilizing Google business profile. They had a listing, but they weren't doing any updates and hadn't in a couple of years. So we made a plan. Instead of dumping all these photos, and by dumping I mean uploading all these photos at one time, let's take 5 to 7 photos and do it consistently, keyword there, consistently, over a number of weeks. Within 2 days of uploading 5 pictures, most of the pictures had over 5,000 views.
Wow.
A week later, most of those first pictures had over 10,000 views, and the second set, the numbers were higher than the first ones that were uploaded. And that's the thing I will share with people. It doesn't, when you upload it, it doesn't necessarily go away. It doesn't necessarily expire, because those pictures can be seen for years to come. Pictures, video, etc. And when you get in, they've made some changes. There used to be an app, so I want to give people a heads up. There used to be an app you could put on your phone, and you could do updates, reply to messages, comment on reviews. That's not the case anymore. Now to do that, you can either go on your phone or your computer, and you can search your business. If you're logged in to the Gmail account that you set up your Google business profile with, your dashboard will come up right at the top of the search.
I noticed that.
You don't necessarily have to go out and have another app or anything. And in there, there's an arrow over to the side. So if you don't see all the options, you have to click that arrow, because post is one of the last options. And it's actually not considered a post. It says update. Add
Yes.
update or update in there. And that's what is considered an actual post. And you can put even an event in there, or an update about your business, a sale that you have going on. That is where you can basically put anything from an actual post, whatever you want to share.
Yeah. And, you know, we've seen a big jump too. It's not just for your business. I'm going to throw a little wrench in there, a little tip. But like you said, baby steps. So do that first, then do the second.
Now here she goes down the tracks. Hold on. Buckle up.
So what we do is we go in our business profile or our business account, and we go to businesses and we review them from our account and we add pictures and videos, and those pictures and videos, insane how much they get viewed versus doing it on social media. It is so crazy. So that's another way to get seen, to get your business seen, is to go onto other businesses from your profile and review them.
It's another form of engagement. It's just the Google version of it. And you're absolutely right. If there's people that you work with or that you partner up with, I encourage people to do that back and forth. And the other thing too, let's not forget your reviews. No matter how old those reviews are, take the time and go back and reply to them. And I always tell people, one of the tips that I give, when you reply, 4 words or more. When you comment on social media, if you're doing it from a strategy perspective or an engagement perspective, 4 words or more. Not just TY for thank you, not just thank you. Just get 2 more words in there. It will make a difference.
I love it. This is great stuff.
It is really good.
I learned so much, and I'll tell you what, 8.5 billion searches per day.
You cannot get that number out of your head.
It's not gonna go any, like I'm gonna sleep with this number in my head. I'm like, how am I going to maximize this? I'm automatically going to my Google profile after this and making sure I've got my most recent post, it's been updated. Like, I'm gonna utilize this.
Most recent photo.
Yeah.
If you have a brick and mortar, make sure you have a recent picture of the outside of your business, the inside of your business. If you're a restaurant, pictures of your updated menu, pictures of your food. You know, that is one thing is I tell people, put it on a calendar. If you want to do paper calendar, you do you. If you want to do Google Calendar or iCal, put it in there once a week. Block out 15 minutes. It will be the best 15 minutes you spend for your business, and set it on a recurring. So you get a pop-up reminder, or if you're doing a piece of paper, you know, highlight it that maybe it's every Monday. I have some clients that they choose to do it every Sunday evening. Now, you can get into what days and times are best. You can get into your insights of your Google business profile. In days that are more popular, you can then shift into that. But you don't have to have the most very hardcore strategy to get results. A little bit goes a long way with Google. And did we say it's free? Have we said it's free? I mean, it is a great tool. Every business should have it in their toolbox so it can be working for them out there in that big number that you keep saying.
8.5 billion.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't know the answer, because you can't read their mind. But do you think, so I think, you know, Facebook started free for businesses and Instagram started free for businesses. Do you think that Google will eventually figure out a way to charge for this service for businesses, or to get more eyes on it?
Okay. And I'm going to throw this back with a question. All right. So if you do something and you start to get a little bit of results, then what happens?
You keep doing it.
Or you want to pay a little something to get even more results that already exist with Google Ads. I have not heard anything or any rumblings. You know, there was rumblings that have been going on for years with Facebook and things like that. I haven't really heard of anything. Nothing leads me to believe that would be a direction that Google would go.
Because they already have that service, just in a different way.
And
their ads, right?
When you start getting a little bit of results, and if you've got an event coming up or you have something you want to push, you're probably going to be willing to spend a little bit on a platform that gives you results anyways for free. That has happened with Facebook. You know, everyone started posting, you were getting results, so people started running small ads. And to me, I know there's people out there that will definitely disagree, but when done the correct way, a little amount of money for most on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok can go a long way if the ads are done correctly. And the same goes for Google. But if you're just getting started, or you have not utilized your Google business profile on a consistent basis, that is definitely the key.
Our favorite word. Consistency.
We say that a lot.
Consistency. Definitely start there before you necessarily start spending money. Now, every business is unique, and if you have something going on that you really need to get the word out about, that's a different story. But the consistency can work better for you in the long run versus just an ad here and an ad there.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we are at about 30 minutes.
Look at that.
We're doing good.
I think we can
feel
go
like
like
we could talk
hours
to you
with this.
forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the key is not overwhelming. You know, I've been doing this for so long that I try to really pay attention to how much I'm sharing, not because I don't want to share. I could sit here and talk about this for 2 or 3 hours. But when people get overwhelmed, your eyes glaze over, guess what? Then
You shut down.
well, it defeats the purpose because you all take time to do this podcast. I have my own podcast. And the reason that we take time to share with our audience or our followers, number one, we care. But number two, you want people to take action.
Yeah.
And just the few things we've talked about here, not even doing any of the detailed strategy, I feel certain people will get results. And I think having that checklist, you know, because we covered a lot, will really help you go down through it. And the last thing I will share is if you have your messages turned on, this is something that people really miss. Make sure you get back to people on the messages because Google tracks the amount of time it takes for you to get back to people. And then that shows in your knowledge panel. Typical response, 2 hours. Typical response, 4 days.
It's crazy you brought that up. I just got an email the other day from Google talking about how I responded to calls made off of like someone who found me on Google. If they called me, like clicking, you can call, I guess,
Yes, you
right
can.
from Google. So it has that analytics that it emailed me just the other day. And I'm like, oh,
Tracks it all.
how many calls did I answer from Google?
It
Oh,
knows when
okay.
you went to sleep.
Absolutely. And the analytics or the insights part is really an episode in its own.
Yeah.
You know, and we can do a follow-up episode to this. Okay, now that you've had time to implement some of the things we talked about, I'm just inviting myself right back on.
I think that's a
or you
great
all can do
idea.
it without
Yeah.
me.
No.
The thing is, Google makes it really easy for people to call, visit your website, get directions. It's one click. They don't have to go to your website and then go here.
Yep.
It's one click. And we also talked before we got started about the statistics showed 63% mobile users. We all agree that, and that was a 2022 statistic that we believe that is definitely higher. You want ease. And Google really makes it easy for people to connect with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
So good. So Kristina has been very generous and she's given us a free checklist for you to add your business. And so that'll be available on thebusinessproject.com. It's totally free. So head on over there and check it out, download. We'll also have a link in the show notes. So Kristina, I have 2 questions for you really quick. Number 1 is how can they find you? So if they need coaching, if they have questions, how can they find you? And then number 2, what is your one takeaway? If you feel like they need to leave with one thing, what would that be? And we're running out of time, so we got to make it so quick. I'm so sorry.
The easiest way to connect with me is to go to KristinaStubblefield.com. The spelling of that, everything, I'm sure you'll put it in the show notes. Anybody that's listening, please connect with me on social media. I'm on mostly all the platforms. And there's a link easy on my website to get to that. So whatever platform you enjoy spending your time, connect with me. And there's information to reach out to me on my website. That's the easiest. My one biggest takeaway, please use Google for your business. It is if you took away everything and you said to me, I can only do one thing for my business, I would tell you to spend that time on your Google business profile.
I would add that if you're truly, truly uncomfortable doing it, get yourself someone to help, but you need it. 8.5 billion searches.
And I'll tell you the one hang up. I'll share this real quick. People think that you can only do it manually. There is software out there, just like social media scheduling tools. That was a hang up a few years ago. Google did not allow third-party softwares to be able to schedule out posts or updates on Google Business Profile. Guess what? That is now not a problem. And there are multiple softwares out there. And if you don't know where to go, reach out to you all or reach out to me, and I'll share with you the ones that I have experience with. And because that is a hang up. People feel like they don't have the time to do it manually every week.
Yeah.
Don't let that stop you, please. There's tools out there that are very affordable to utilize.
Yeah. Yep. And it changes all the time too. So finding somebody that can keep up with all those changes is very, very important. If you're not into it, like I'm not, like many of us business owners,
sure.
we're like, I don't know, just tell me what to do. Find somebody that can tell you what to do.
Yep.
And honestly, with that being said, for those out there that you do it all yourself, you wear many, many, many hats. We've had these conversations. Find somebody. It doesn't have to be me. Find someone that can just give you that 10,000 foot view and some good feedback on the time you are dedicating on your business. I didn't say on your business, whether you're spending marketing dollars or not. You just having that path to be able to help you go down. I know it can be very frustrating. I've been very fortunate to work with a number of people over the years, and you work hard in your business. You spend a lot of time. People should know about you. There's people out there that are looking for your business, your services, and your products. They just have to be able to find you online.
Amen.
So good. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast as much as we did. Kristina, we will definitely have you back on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I think you guys probably enjoyed it just as much as we
sure
did.
did.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. We are so excited to have you guys as part of this. Don't forget to download our episodes, give us a review. All of that helps so incredibly much. Kristina can tell you because she's the one that taught us.
Yep.
All right. You guys have a good one. Peace
See you
out.
next week.